The Y-Wing bombers make up a majority of the Rebel Starfleet along with X-Wings and A-Wings. But Y-Wings are specifically unique as they're the only starfighter to be piloted by both Anakin Skywalker while also being shot down by Darth Vader years later. By the time of the Rebel Alliance, they were over 2 decades old. So what makes these bombers so effective that they were used from the Clone Wars to the time of the Empire and their fall? The BTL-B Y-Wing bomber was initially created by Consair Manufacturing for the Republic Starfighter Corps. It was a combination starfighter bomber with a powerful armament for its size at only 23 meters in length. This fighter came with forward-mounted dual-medium laser cannons, as well as a gunner-operated dual-ion cannon turret located behind the pilot's cockpit. But what made this starfighter bomber so effective was its ability to unleash proton torpedoes fast and effectively. It had dual proton torpedo launchers with 8 proton torpedoes total, each one capable of ripping holes into the largest of vessels. The Y-Wing also came with deflector shields and a hyperdrive. Not having to rely on a carrier like the Venator or hyperdrive ring helped make these starfighters so deadly. The BTL-B Y-Wing bomber would participate in the strike mission led by Anakin Skywalker to cripple the Malevolence, which was a massive star dreadnought. It was also operational during the Second Battle of Geonosis, Battle of Umbara, and throughout the Clone Wars. Eventually, the Empire would decommission the Y-Wing bomber, and plans would be made to strip them of parts and to scrap the rest. Rebel forces would acquire these through good old-fashioned theft. The BTL A4 Y-Wing bomber then became the workhorse of the Rebel Alliance Starfighter Corps. Like the BTL-B, the A4 Y-Wing wasn't fast, but it was highly capable in completing strike missions against fortified locations or against Imperial warships. They still had forward-mounted medium laser cannons and a high capacity of proton torpedoes. But this model replaced its gunner-operated ion turret for a pilot and computer-operated ion turret. Unfortunately, this turret was constantly breaking down, as the internal components would be jarred around on missions. During the attack on the first Death Star, Gold Squadron only had 2 Y-Wings with operational rotating ion turrets. Rebel mechanics would work on replacing the aging parts on these bombers so much that the outer plating would be removed just to help them. This did shorten the length of the starfighter to around 16 meters, but the constant maintenance made these Y-Wings uniquely individual. If we're being honest though, the Y-Wings weren't the only starfighter being worked on constantly. The A-Wing needed repairs just as much and was not nearly as reliable in dealing out damage as the Y-Wing was. I think it's commendable that the mechanics of the Rebel Alliance kept all these old rundown fighters going. They're truly the unsung heroes of the Rebels. Eventually, X-Wings would become the more common fighter, and for a good reason. They were fast and more maneuverable, while also being capable of unleashing heavy firepower. B-Wings were also an up-and-coming starfighter bomber that was seen as a replacement for the Y-Wing. However, B-Wings were few in number, and the reliability of the Y-Wing is why we see this craft at just about every major engagement throughout the Galactic Civil War. I personally love the Y-Wing. It's gotta be my second favorite Rebel fighter behind the iconic X-Wing. Let me know your thoughts on the Y-Wing. Is it as awesome as I say it is? Or is it, kind of basic? Let me know in the comments below. Have an amazing day, and may the Force be with you.